We almost saw this coming, right? We knew inflation was going to drop. But did we imagine it was going to drop this steeply?
Well, it's not steep. I mean, we were saying that the trend was already there.
Yes.
We said that perhaps it could have been even a little higher. But if you look at it, food and non-alcoholic beverages, and of course then housing, water, electricity, gas, etc., they make up, between the two of them, the bulk in the CPI.
Yes.
So again, we're surprised that although food and non-alcoholic beverages did drop by over 1%.
Yes, 1.09%.
We're a little surprised that housing, water, electricity, gas actually increased by perhaps 0.82%.
Yes.
With the transport index perhaps coming down a little bit as well. So I think the continued issue around inflation will be going forward is the issue of electricity, because we've just heard that perhaps there's some new charges that
as
perhaps
much as a 16% hike.
That's a big hike, and we're not aware of that yet, but we're waiting to see how that unfolds. So that'll be a big hike. Water, I'm sure, is always going to be under pressure. All the water authorities are always asking for more rates anyway. Housing could come a little bit under pressure. So we're saying that perhaps we have seen that drop, but not as drop as we'd like to have seen it drop. So, however, I mean, the government has done fantastic work. I mean, all the way from January to July, I mean, a drop from around over 18% to 6%. That's a fantastic drop. We're very pleased with the government's initiative so far, and the Central Bank of Kenya. And really, I think their plan has worked.
One of the reasons why the housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels index went up is this interesting one. House rents went up significantly, according to what this statement from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics says. This might be a trend. If it continues for a few more months, we should be concerned, right?
Yes, I think the other issue, of course, was the issue of landlords paying taxes on rent, which is connected with the Kenya Revenue Authority. I mean,
yes.
As Kenya Revenue Authority has been saying, there's nothing new in this. Now, is it true or not true that some landlords are beginning to pass on that additional cost to their tenants, and is that becoming a factor?
Right.
So that could be a factor going forward.
But though the transport index went down about 0.82%, but the transport index has a bearing on fuel. And if right now the oil price has come off, but who knows where it might be in another 2 months.
Yes, I think that's something that the Central Bank of Kenya would be looking at. Remember, yes. The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics only focuses on the past,
right.
While the Central Bank of Kenya will be looking at those statistics, but also looking at the future. And so the Central Bank of Kenya, in their monetary policy meeting, obviously will be looking at the future. And frankly, it does look like oil prices have dropped off. Mm-hmm. We're hoping that is a trend that can continue. But like we say, we're at the mercy of cartels in the world. We can never tell where oil prices will be. However, and therefore, as a country, we always have to be prepared for the good case scenario, but also for the worst case scenario.
There's this conspiracy theory among some in the analyst community that this 6.09 figure is a little too low, that it should be somewhere close to 7%. What would you say to that?
I don't think so. I think that the trend is quite clear. There has been good rainfall. In other words,
yes.
There's been good production of foodstuffs, and so food is quite clear that generally people do believe that food prices have come off. And I think that is quite a fair finding. Of course, the others in terms of housing, etc., it has come up. I think that would have been the case. It may not have been as much as people expected, but I think that's fair. I think we have to go by these statistics, and these statistics appear fair.
Explain to us how this are correlated. The CPI, which dropped very marginally, 0.31% to 131.92, and the overall inflation rate, and which of these we should be paying more attention to? Well,
remember, you've got a number of ingredients into the CPI.
Yes.
Food and non-alcoholic beverages makes up 36% of it, while as we're saying, housing, water, electricity, gas make up, and other fuels also make up almost 16%. So between these two, they make up the bulk. So that's why these two are watched very carefully, right. As a result, as the movement from month to month. So we are glad that these are the figures that have come out today. We're glad that perhaps that these inflation rates overall has come down, and that we're hoping to see benefits from this going forward.
One of those benefits, hopefully, is that rate cut we're expecting from the Monetary Policy Committee when they meet on Wednesday. What would you expect them to do?
That's interesting. I think one of the things we've noticed that the Central Bank of Kenya is not now having monthly meetings.
Yes.
So it appears they're timing their meetings now a bit more carefully. Mm-hmm. We are, of course, expecting a rate cut. We are saying that if the 91-day Treasury bill rate can fall from 18 to 19% in January to almost 8% now, we are saying that if inflation has dropped from the highs of 19 or 20% to around 6%, we're saying that there's the central bank rate is more than double the inflation rate.
Right.
And so we're saying now I think Central Bank of Kenya should be a bit more lenient, should be looking to be a little bit more easing. The exchange rate has stabilized. The foreign exchange cover has increased significantly as well, as far as they're concerned. So generally factors look good for this meeting. We're hoping in the capital markets that we'll have a healthy rate cut.
What is a healthy rate cut? Put a number on it.
This is because already we're beginning to see that the number of transactions in the equity capital markets has moved from 17,000 in December to 28,000 in the month of July.
Right.
This has also led to the just recent announced oversubscription of the Diamond Trust Bank rights issue.
Which we'll be talking about in a moment.
So we're very excited. I mean, we're seeing that investors are coming back to equity capital markets on the understanding that interest rates are still headed on the way down. So we're excited.
I'm going to keep you into a number. 200 basis points cut, 300?
I'd like to see 200.
200 basis points.
I'd like to see 200 basis points.
Somewhere to bring it to about 14.5%.
Yes, I think so. And then I think that they should monitor it for another couple of months, see how inflation is progressing, and then perhaps look for in the third quarter, hopefully we can get down to a few more rate cuts.